Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. Sorry, I wasn't sure I actually hit the record button. As always, I'm Jordan, and today I lied because in the last video we did Elmer T. Lee comparison video, and I said we were going to next to Blanton's, but I forgot that I had this Eagle Rare sitting here. So let me bring this up. I paid, and we're doing these comparisons in order of proof. And so I bought this bottle of Eagle Rare. So this one, you can see they redesigned the label a little bit. I bought this one in 2020, and it says the age 10-year age statement on the back. I have to say, I was not impressed with this very much at all. It's ringing in at 90 proof. I know a lot of people really kind of rave as Eagle Rare being so much better than Buffalo Trace or whatever else. Again, I don't know if like Wyoming just gets a lot of the shit bottles or something sent to them or what, but like a lot of the bottlings that I have from them that people rave about, I'm just not that impressed with. Like I have Rock Hill Farms down there. It's costing me $100 instead of the $65 that a lot of people are getting to pay for it. I think there's one still locally here that I can go pick up right now. Today's February 4th. I'm gonna go see if I can get a better price on that. But it really wasn't all that impressive to me. If I can get a better price on it, if I can buy two, I'm gonna get one for my hunting partner, one for me. Same thing with Eagle Rare. So I paid what did I pay for this? $22.79. And then now I bought this one in 2024. So I bought this in March of 2024. I paid $34.19. So it went up by $12, and that's at the cheap liquor store here in town. And they had a heck of a time trying to get anything in. With the new distribution under Buffalo Trace, they are getting screwed hard. It's very difficult for them to get anything in. 2 years ago, I could walk in and there was literally cases of just standard Buffalo Trace absolutely everywhere. It was $19.99, including 2 cases of store picks that they had. Those days are definitely gone. So this one's down, halfway or so. So we're kind of getting to the point where we need to kill this bottle. But I thought, let's do it. Let's put them against each other. Let's check out the flavor drift here. 4 years apart. Or what did I buy? I bought this in March. So there's a chance that this is 2023 bottling. I don't know. March is far enough along that it most likely is 2024 product. But like I said, this is same as the Elmer T. Lee. This is the first crack on this bottle. That's also going to be true of the Blanton's. It's also going to be true of the Weller 107. And it's also going to be true of this Maker's 46 back there. So, is it a fair comparison? Probably not. But I will say, as I just previously stated, I was not impressed with this 2020 release when I first got it, which is why, in 2020 I bought it and the bottle's still here. It's just, again, it's like the Elmer T. Lee. It's not amazing and it's not crap. It's an okay whiskey, C+, B-, something like that. And that's kind of what I thought of this bottle. So we're going to revisit it here. It's probably been easily 2 years since I've tasted any of this. So we'll see. So we got our neck pour out of this in the glass, and we got this. So I don't know. Maybe it's not a fair comparison, but once again, again maybe because they changed their label or whatnot. The newer one seems darker on appearance. Yes, there is more whiskey in the bottle. However, now they got the 10 years right on there, whereas on this one it's hidden on the back. But I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably, I think there's just a difference. So let's see what kind of flavor drift we got in there. 90 proof. Let's see if the $12 was worth it. $12 price increase. Okay, so straight away on the nose. again, lacking that classic Buffalo Trace nose profile. Kind of a dark caramel. It's starting to open up now here. Kind of breaking her down, warming it up. I really only get like a light oak and a dark caramel out of that one. And that's it. Like, I'm not getting floral. I'm not getting anything out of that. I will say on this, they're pretty similar. And okay, the 2020 release, I feel like the noses are identical with the 2020 nose being half again more dense of the exact same note. It's really just a dark caramel, kind of edging on graham cracker out of both of them. I mean, you could put them both under my nose, and I don't think I could pick them apart. Okay, let's go down the taste. 2020 first. Very simple, very thin up front. Bitter tannicness picks up in the middle, carries through to the finish. On the end, that tannic note rides up and then comes back down, and then it mixes on the finish with a sweet confectioner sugar, a little bit of graham cracker. That is actually way better than I remember it being. I will say this, it does have a proof spike and a bitter spike in the beginning of the mid palate, which is why I remember not liking this. That is not a note that I particularly care for at all. Anytime there's a bitter tannicness, I'm out. Like, that does not add to my whiskey at all. I do not appreciate that. But let's see what 2020, what did I say, 2024? 2024 has to offer here. Okay, so it's really soft to start with. Not very coating. I would say that there was actually more going on in 2020 than 2023, but this lacks that bitter note, and because of that, I prefer this. It's kind of just a mild, nondescript, bland sweetness up front, and then it kind of started, by the time you hit the mid palate, kind of got creamy. It started to evolve, then you started getting into a caramel. And then it finished with a really nice light pepper, and the ethanol just barely kicked in at the end. And overall, it just presented as a much nicer drinking experience, and a more cohesive flavor profile, I would say, out of the 2024. Okay, so 2020 impacted 2024 when we drank it. Let's go back to the 2020. Now having the 2024, and let's see how this impacts this one. The nose, man, I'm getting like a slight sour, almost like watermelon rind sourness, kind of like I do out of the Ancient Age, just riding under the surface of the nose profile. I don't get it at all in the whiskey, but in the nose profile, there seems to be a sourness there. It's definitely leaning into graham cracker now in the nose too. Having drank this one and then that one, the impact is that bitterness really, really, really got tamped down. This opened up. It was a lot sweeter, a lot more caramel in there. There was an oak presence. It was pushed off to the finish this time. And again, now this presented more like that one, where it was softer up front, a lot of sweeter, like a really light, thin, sweet caramel drizzle, and then it pushed into a darker brown sugar, darker caramel note before bringing in some of the oak impact. There really was no like fruit impact at all on either of these. There was a little bit of graham cracker in there. Gonna go back to the 2024. And I would say the nose profile on this is just so light. Not really jumping out of the glass here. But it is sweet, and it is quite nice. Let's go back to the taste. That presented almost exactly the same as the first time. That got a lot sweeter, a lot denser. But this does have the oak impact on the finish, whereas this one doesn't really have it. So there is definitely a flavor drift going on here. I would say the flavor profile is 15% difference. They're very similar. You can tell that they're in the same vein, but there's enough of a difference that I feel like if I blind them, that I could tell that they were two different whiskeys. I would not mistake them for being the same thing, or being from the same bottle. There is a definite difference between the two. Personally, I like the new bottling better because it does not have any of that tannic note in there. The old bottling, the 2020, it has it in there, but I don't know if it's the impact of the 2024 on the 2020 or if it's just time and it opening up more or what, but that bitterness has gone almost completely away. It's getting pushed further and further into the finish. The impact is being tamped down more and more and more. And as such, this is becoming a more interesting whiskey because there are more noticeable and variable notes in the 2020 than I'm getting out of the 2024. But the 2024, similar to the Elmer T. Lee, just seems to be more cohesive in the flavor profile, meaning that the flavors that are there just move nicely from one and transition into the next and the next easily. Whereas in the 2020, it seemed like it was kind of watery thin, and then there was this, like on that first sip, it just blew out into that tannic bitterness, and then it blew out into a sweetness, and then that bitterness kind of went in there. Like the cohesion wasn't there. It was like all the parts stratified all at one time. So once again, I'm going to lean on the 2024 release being better. But again, it all depends on what your flavor profile preferences are. And so there you have it. There's definitely a flavor drift there. And I think that's going to be true pretty much across these. Of course, the Blantons, those are single barrel products, so that one's going to be for sure. I know the 107 definitely has a flavor drift because I challenge most people. Like my 107 bottle is just nowhere near. And again, the new release of the 7 is darker. So we're going to get into all that. It seems like for me at least, the newer releases are better than what they were in 2020, 21, kind of the earlier COVID stuff. So there you go. Drop in the comments down below what you think of Eagle Rare, what you like about it, what you don't like about it. You know, how many bottles have you had of it? You know, are the older releases better? Are the newer releases better? What are you guys paying? All that good stuff. Drop it in the comments down below. As always, thanks for watching. You guys have yourselves a great day. Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to do Blanton's. Like I said, maybe it's irrelevant because it's single barrel product and there's only so much stuff you can do about it, but we're going to do it anyways because, hey, I got them. Why not? Thanks for watching, you guys. Have yourselves a great day. Catch you later.